Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, I get it that a lot of people are trying to get money for their new LLCs with their EIN number and things of that nature. This is the reason why we're called three-way funding. It's a reason, okay? Because there's only three ways for you to raise capital, okay? Either you're going to have a decent credit score, or you're going to have revenue coming into the business, or you're going to have collateral, okay? Unless you're going to go out and add somebody on to your company. These are the only three ways for you to raise capital. Now, in terms of which banks will actually give you money if you have an established business for your LLC with the EIN only, here's the thing about it. Again, there has to be a relationship, and I'm gonna tell you the 5 banks that you actually should be looking at because they're the most easiest banks to work with. All right, so I know a lot of people, they think about Chase, American Express, Bank of America when starting out trying to raise capital. I would not start with those institutions, okay? Those institutions, because they use FICO 8, you may have added authorized users, rental payments, subscriptions onto your credit file, right? To boost up your credit score. Well, because these institutions does not calculate that. That's the reason why I do not encourage you. Those are tier 1 banks. So if you have a relationship with them, because I've seen there was a debate and the lady said, with your LLC, you can get X amount of funding. I think it was like $50,000 in funding. Can you get $50,000 in funding with your LLC EIN? Absolutely. But when it comes to your traditional lenders, the challenge is you're going to have to use stated income. And they're still going to look at your credit. And they're going to look at the relationship you have with them. Again, because these are tier 1 institutions, in order for you to bypass just with your LLC and EIN, then again, you're going to have high revenue. All right, I'm just being transparent with you. Now, if you are just starting out, again, with your LLC, your EIN, here's the thing about it. In terms of funding, are you looking for lines of credit, business loans, or credit card? I always tell people you want to stay away from loans. All right, now there's only one lender. Well, there's a couple, but there's one lender if you're okay with it. All right, but they're still going to pull your personal credit that will go after a loan. But I still don't tell you to go after a loan with them, and that is DreamSpring. I always tell you to go after their line of credit, because with their line of credit, it's $50,000 up to $50,000. And the reason you want that line of credit versus that loan is because when you pay down that line of credit, you can borrow it again. It's just like a revolving credit card. So that's the reason that I tell you guys, you really should pay attention to what these people are saying. Like, we have databases, all right? And we know that there's different institutions and stuff other than the banks that will give you funding, but they have certain criteria that don't even look at the credit. But again, in order to keep them from actually looking at the credit, sorry about that, I'm at a Tesla charging station around me and trying to figure all this stuff out. But going back to what I was saying is that lenders have no issue with giving you funding. But when it comes to people saying, oh, I got 10,000, 15,000, you have to ask them, was it a credit card? Was it a line of credit? Or was it a loan? Okay? So then now it comes into transparency. Most of the time, I can guarantee you 90% of the time, probably going to be a credit card. Then the question has to be, well, how long had you had this relationship with them? Again, this is also plays a factor in terms of determining the amount of money. What type of trade lines? These are multiple variables in terms of trying to get the amount of money you want. Now, in reference to some of your easier low-hanging fruits to where you can get business funding up to $50,000, $100,000, where they would give you credit cards. But the thing about it, these credit cards will not report on your personal credit file. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, what people don't understand, is that yes, when you're going for a credit card, you want to look at institutions that do not report on the personal side, like with Capital One. That's going to report on the personal side as well as the business side. So that's the reason that you may not want to start with that card. Now, in terms of the best ones that I would tell you, you have BMO. Now, BMO is a Vantage 4, okay? And so, yes, if you have a LLC or EIN, they'll give you a credit card, but they're going to look at your Vantage 4 credit score to determine, all right? Now, you also have PNC. PNC is a FICO 9. Being a FICO 9, again, those things that I mentioned earlier in the video, adding authorized users, adding subscriptions, adding rental payment, those are the things that you can prop up your credit score with that institution, and they will still work with you. Now, here's the reason why I would tell you these institutions is because once you have a credit card with them, you have a higher chance of getting approved for a line of credit after 90 days, maybe 6 months of proven on-time payments and utilization of your credit card without the hard pull on your credit file. Even Wells Fargo. Now, Wells Fargo being a tier 1, and here's what I mean in reference to the tier 1 aspect. They are nationwide. Usually, most of the time, they're not flexible when you're over that 50-55% debt to income ratio. So that's what I mean. But with Wells Fargo, like they just brought out their new card because they stopped issuing business credit cards, right? So now they have this new business credit card, but it's again Experian FICO 9. So that's the reason why I'm continuing to tell you guys is please be careful with listening to these people, because they said that the devil is in the details. A lot of these people will not tell you the details, right? They tell you things that sound good, but they don't tell you the actual detail. So that's the reason I tell you about the data points in the scoring system. Now, some of your easier cards, again, you have BCU, Baxter Credit Union, right? So it's a Vantage 3, TransUnion scoring. That's when people hop over to Credit Karma, look at their TransUnion scoring. That's the scoring that they will use. Now, another thing about this, not only will it give you the business credit card, but they also may call you on the phone and say, hey, you know, we just want to understand more about your business, you know, what it is your business do. Because again, I continue to tell you, your NAICS code can really make you or break you. And that's very important. So that's the reason I continue to tell you guys, you have to be very careful. Now, that being said, you also have Veridian, right? So with Veridian, they actually are a TransUnion a TransUnion Vantage score as well. You join Habitat for Humanity. Now, these here two credit unions, I'm telling you, they're non-geo restricted, right? So yes, many people think to go to Navy Federal, but again, you have to become a member, that you have to jump through these hoops, military and stuff. And right now, because Navy Federal has been burned, because a lot of people are using CPN still, and I continue to tell you, stay away from CPNs. It's going to get you caught up. Trust me, I've been in this game a long time. So I'm telling you, not just the precaution, because I know this game, right? So I'm just trying to look out for you. That being said, like I said, Navy Federal, yes, you can go to Navy Federal. All right, they are Experian FICO 9 as well. Then you have Hovia, Jovia, right? I just made a video on them. Check them out. I would tell you they're even better than Navy Federal. The reason is anybody can join. All right, plus they will give you multiple products on one hard pull because their hard pull lasts up to 60 days. Up to 60 days. So that's the reason, like, you can get a line of credit, a credit card on the personal side, and then like on the business side, they have the business credit card, business lines of credit go up to $50,000, but it's a Vantage 4. So you have leverage. So don't think you cannot get $50,000, even if they're just each institution just giving you $10,000 each. The banks I done mentioned, it's over 5 banks, and you still able to raise that kind of money. All right, so don't think you have to go all in on one bank for $50,000. You don't have to do that. You just want to get in with the first bank. All right, so for those of you that may have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.